Today I'm going to show you my version of a pork steak that's featured in Midnight Diner, so stick around! Tonteki literally means pork steak in Japanese, and it was created at a Chinese restaurant called Ken in Yokkaichi about 45 years ago. Unlike the original, the version in Midnight Diner is made with a lighter sauce with grated onions, but my version is closer to the original. I make mine with a thick-cut pork chop that's been tenderized before being pan-fried until golden brown. Then it's glazed in a thick, savory sweet sauce and topped with crispy fried garlic. Looks good, right? Let's get started with a look at our ingredients. For the pork steak, I'm using two 3 1/4 inch thick boneless rib chops, and we're gonna season them with salt and pepper. I've also got 2 tablespoons of flour for dusting, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and 4 very large cloves of garlic. For the Tonteki sauce, I'm using 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, and 2 teaspoons of honey. Tonteki isn't the prettiest thing in the world, so you want to use some colorful garnishes like lemon, tomato, and cucumber. And of course, we need to have a mountain of shredded cabbage. To prep the sauce, I'm going to add the Shaoxing wine, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, ketchup, and honey to a bowl, and I'm going to stir this together until everything is evenly combined. Then let's prep our garnishes. I'm gonna slice the lemon into wedges, core and wedge the tomato, and slice the cucumber and stack them up to make a fan. For the cabbage salad, I'm gonna slice it thinly using a mandolin. The proper way to do this is to separate the leaves, remove the stems, and then stack and roll them to slice them with a sharp knife. But I'm feeling a little lazy today, and this method works almost as well. Just try and work around the thick stems. For the pork chops, do you see these translucent lines near the fat? This is connective tissue, and it's what makes the meat tough, so we want to target and physically cut them to tenderize the meat. I like using a clean pair of kitchen shears to do this, but the tip of a knife will work as well. Be sure to flip the pork over and get the connective tissue on the other side. By the way, it's worth noting that in Yokkaichi, the meat is cut into fingers like a glove, but I don't like to do this because you lose too much moisture and it can make the pork tough. Once your pork is tenderized, give it an even sprinkle of salt on both sides. Then I'm gonna crack some freshly ground pepper onto them as well. When using coarse ground pepper, you always want to rub it in a bit so it sticks to the surface of the meat. Now I'm just gonna dust these on all sides with some flour. You may not need all of the flour, and the goal here is to create a thin, even layer that's gonna help our sauce adhere to the meat. For the garlic, you want to peel the cloves without smashing them. You might find that it's easier if you trim the end off first and use the bit of skin at the bottom as a pull tab. Now I'm gonna slice these up on a mandolin to get nice, even slices. The original Tonteki is made with whole cloves of garlic, but slicing them infuses the oil with more flavor, and I love having garlic chips as a crispy topping for steak. If you don't have a mandolin, you can use a knife, but try and get the slices all about the same thickness so they crisp evenly. Before we fry these up, I want to thank Musubi Kiln for sending us the plate and chopstick rest I used in this video. They have a massive selection of Japanese tableware from traditional to modern, and they ship worldwide, so hit the link in the description down below to check them out. Also, be sure to use coupon code NORECIPES to get 5% off your order while helping to support this channel. Okay, let's fry the garlic up in a frying pan over medium heat with the oil. You want to do this over relatively low heat, otherwise the garlic is gonna burn. Keep the garlic moving around the oil to try and get them to brown as evenly as possible. The goal here is to get them to a light tan color because if you go too much darker, they'll end up tasting bitter. Inevitably, you'll have some slices crisp faster than others, so start removing the chips as they brown. Once most of the chips are browned and they're not sizzling much anymore, you'll probably want to use something like tongs or a slotted spoon to get them out of the pan quickly. Now we're gonna fry the pork in this garlic-infused oil. These are pretty thick, so you want to have the heat down low enough so that they don't brown too quickly. I have my stove set to medium heat. Let these fry undisturbed until you get some nice browning on one side and the pork is cooked through about halfway up the sides. This took about 5 minutes. Then you want to flip them over. Now we're gonna let these fry for another 5 to 6 minutes, flipping them over periodically until they're cooked through and have a nice golden brown crust on the outside. By the way, I wish you could smell this right now because the browning pork in garlic oil smells insanely good. Once the pork is cooked through, transfer it to a plate and set it aside. The garlic oil has done its job now, and we've rendered out a bunch of fat from the pork, so use some paper towels to mop up the excess oil. I know we're going to be losing some of the fond in the pan, but that's better than having a greasy sauce. Now I'm going to add the sauce and bring this to a boil. You want to burn off the alcohol while reducing the sauce into a thick glaze here, so take your time. Once the sauce is thick and bubbly like this, return the pork steaks to the pan along with any accumulated juices and flip them over repeatedly to give them a nice thick coating of the sauce. Okay, these are looking amazing and we don't want to overcook them, so let's get them plated up. I'm gonna start by creating a big mound of shredded cabbage on the back half of the plate. Then I'm gonna lay the tonteki next to it using the cabbage to prop it up. Now let's garnish this with the cucumbers, tomatoes, and lemon. And our tonteki is done! I like to serve the garlic chips on the side so that each person can decide how much they want, and this also helps keep them crisp right up until you eat it. Oh man, who's ready to try this out? It looks amazing and smells incredible. Itadakimasu. All right, let's get a piece here with a little bit of garlic on there. Oh, it's ridiculously garlicky and savory. It's got a little bit of tartness from the ketchup and the Worcestershire sauce. And it's also got like a really nice balancing sweetness that just makes all the flavors come together. All right, let's go for another bite here. I'm gonna get some pork, get lots of garlic chips on there, get a little cabbage here. Oh, I can't even describe how delicious this is. And the cabbage salad is like a palate cleanser that keeps the pork from getting too rich. This is delicious with just the cabbage, but I bet it would be even better with a bowl of rice or better yet a beer. Tonteki by definition is made with pork, but the general method also works with chicken, beef, or even tofu, so I hope you'll give this a try. As always, you can let me know you enjoyed this video by giving this a big thumbs up. My goal this year is to hit 100,000 subs, so if you're enjoying my recipes, please consider sharing the link to this channel with a few of your friends that might like it too. Alright, I'm gonna go sit down and enjoy the rest of this, but check out this playlist for more TV and manga inspired recipes. And I'll catch you in the next one.